Guest says he may have found Noah's Ark.
Joining us from Colorado as his geologist, of course, is John Anton. And John was not on the expedition, but has extensively studied all of the explorers' samples and is revealing his scientific results for the first time today, exclusively here on Fox and Friends. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Bob, let's talk to you first about this expedition. As you know, as I've talked to you before, I'd like to call you the Indiana Jones. So what did you discover on top of Mount Suleiman in Iran?
Well, we found a very unique object. It wasn't impressive to look at from a distance. When we got up close to it, it had a lot of resemblance to wood. It was rock, obviously, but it did look like hand-hewn beams. A man in 1943 said he saw the Ark up there, so we were just following his trail. He gave me a map, and I went up there, and I was just reporting on what he said he saw. And I don't know if it's Noah's Ark or not, but it sure is interesting looking.
All right, well, John, we want to bring you in. So there's this wood. It looks like a beam. You're the scientist who's supposed to be verifying everything that Bob found. What makes you or anyone think this is Noah's Ark?
Well, actually, if you look at what was brought back, and I wasn't on the expedition, there were a bunch of samples that he brought back to me. And the samples actually fall into two categories. One is a set of rocks, and one is petrified wood. The rock happens to be, and most of what you're seeing there is rock. Okay. What you're seeing is marine material, marine deposited shale. And the other stuff, though, the petrified wood, is very interesting for the very reason what you said before. First of all, petrified wood is not found everywhere. It is found globally, but it's not found every single place. Before you can have petrified wood, you had to have a tree. Forests don't grow all the way to the top of some mountains because of, adverse conditions. So to find this material at 13,000 plus feet is kind of unusual. It's not unheard of for mid-latitude localities, but it's not always found. Plus the fact that some of it's very large, and the higher you go, even if you do have forests, the smaller the trees become.
Now, there's something else that you found within the wood itself that really bodes well in terms of this being the actual discovery of Noah's Ark. And what was that? Something hand...
Oh, yes. Okay. It wasn't in the thin sections themselves. By the way, I do have some slides showing the thin sections of what the wood looks like microscopically, which verifies that it is, in fact, and that there you have it, that it is, in fact, petrified wood. In fact, that's a soft wood variety, something like pine or something. Mm-hmm. Now, the thing that you're referring to are actually the photographs of the site where it looks like the beams have been hand-hewn. Now, that's very interesting. Now, that stuff there might or might not be petrified wood. That has the same sort of structure as the stuff that looks like that has been identified as rock. Now, it doesn't exclude or prevent it from being petrified wood. I still don't have samples of that particular sample right there. But if you go to the next shot or one of the other shots,
wow.
that one right there is very, very interesting because that looks like it's been hewn.
Okay, but now, Bob, hold on a second. When you stumbled upon all of this, did you realize how extraordinary it was? And did you think, were you looking for Noah's Ark, or could this just be any old boat that, found its way up there?
Well, I started off looking for Noah's Ark with Jim Irwin, the astronaut, the 8th man to walk on the moon, way back in 1985. And we've been looking for the Ark on Mount Ararat, and then we finally realized, wait a second, the Bible, is giving us clues that the Ararat mountain range should be in Iran. And so we started going there, and I've been looking for the Ark for a long time, so I try to have guarded optimism. But when we came upon this object, our heart skipped a beat because this looked just like the side of a ship and beams, and obviously it was rock. I'm not a geologist, but boy, when you get up next to it, it's real impressive when you get up close to it.
Wow.
Well, Bob and John, yeah, and we know that Bob's going to be doing some more expeditions as well, but we thank you both for bringing us this exciting news. Boy, this could be great if it's really the real thing. So
Thanks, guys. All right, coming up, our rescue dogs in 9.